and thank you for tuning in to the very first episode of Y'all Hate Opinions. Let's give it up for the first time. I am Ashley. I am your host, and this is my amazing co-host for today. This is Miss Nakia Green.
Hello.
She also has the distinct privilege of being my best friend. So when y'all hate opinions, we've been noticing that people really hate opinions. It's like you can't even say how you feel about shit anymore. Like, what kind of place is this? Like, where do we live? America. But anyway, today's episode is about something that's really close and dear to my heart. College got me effed up.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I owe more than I make, and it's just getting ridiculous. So we're going to break that down a little bit and try to figure out why blacks are owing substantially more debts than whites. But before we do that, we got to get a smidge messy, of course. But even before we do that, I'm all about plug life. I have to give a special plug to Elevated Minds Apparel for sponsoring, producing, and giving me the great idea and the sponsorship behind this idea. Also, I would like to plug life insurance. If you need some, holla at me. Anything you want to plug besides how beautiful you are?
I just want to plug for all those students out there who are undecided and they just graduated. Please find yourself at your closest community college, BCCC.
For free. All right. So I wanted to touch on something, and I really don't give a shit about whose feelings I hurt, but black businesses. Black businesses, sis, I don't understand how they can operate so poorly. And being as though I'm in my 30s, like, I will Yelp your ass up, okay? I will Yelp you down. So I'm going to give an experience on a black business that I recently patronized. Hopefully she understands I'm talking about her because I fucking am. So I make an appointment with my debit card. So I book the appointment with my card. So what does that say to you? Like, when I book an appointment with my card, like, just tell me what that gives you.
This is a customer who is committed, a customer who is definitely interested in the services I'm going to provide. And if it's their first time, then I plan to give them a really good experience because, you know, most people build their clientele through, you know, other people telling people about their services. I can think back to even my hairstylist. You know, I see people all the time and they ask who cut my hair, who colors my hair, and the best person to really sell your talent or your business are the people who come to you for that service.
Right. That's right. And another huge, like, you know, engine of black businesses now is the social media. It's really like a gift to us because where it was a time where we couldn't afford advertising, now we can advertise on our phones. So I found this young lady on Instagram, you know, the service she provided, you know, it looked beautiful, and she's a nail tech, beautiful. So I was like, wow, you know, I've really got to get an appointment with this girl. I wanted it so badly. So I booked with my card. The day of the appointment is 11:30. Mind you, I got to go to work, sis. It's 11:30. She sends me a text message and say, hey, where are you? I'm like, I'm here. Oh, you didn't confirm with me that you were coming. I'm going to be a little late. Excuse me? Sis, if I give you the visa, Ash gonna be there.
Right.
So mind you, I'm sitting there. She's 30 minutes late. 30 minutes late. We get there. She doesn't say, do you want a water? Can I, you know, are you okay? I'll take something off. Nothing. Okay. So I proceed to tell her how I want my nails done. Oh, well, you're going to have to add some length for that. Your nails are too short. First of all, I'm not an IG model. I work in the corporate field and I have to type. I'm not running around with 9-inch nails to prove to you that I can wear them. Sis, I'm not doing it. So that was the first incident. And then she just wasn't engaging, very rude, very nasty. I will never patronize her again. But to me, when I left, it just made me think about black businesses and what we convey about our business. Now, on social media, you're showing like, oh, you know, you're top notch, you do great work. But on the other end, you're not very social, or you don't really use ethics in your business. So why would I want to patronize? I have badmouthed her to at least 10 people since then, and whoever watched this, they're gonna see it too. But what I won't do is I won't say her name because I don't want to do that. But what I'm saying is, black businesses, please stop. If you are providing a service, provide a service with careness and be kind and be professional. I cannot stress the word professional enough. Just because you have a huge clientele today does not mean you will have a huge clientele forever. Because one thing I will tell you, this is not a necessity. This is not a necessity. It's a luxury. And when the time comes that we can't afford it, we won't get it. So where will your business be? I ain't gonna keep talking about. I'm gonna go ahead and move on unless you want to add something.
You made valid points, and again, if you have a service that you provide, it's important that when individuals, reach out to you for that service, especially the first time, that you give them a good experience, so that can help to build your clientele. Because just imagine if you had a good experience, I imagine that you would have put on your social media.
I would have.
Hey ladies, if you're looking for a good nail tech who can, do a great job, provide this for your nails or, for your feet, check so-and-so out. So this is the difference between, someone who provided a service and a good experience versus someone who did not provide what the client was expecting and did not give the level of service that they were expecting. So,
in short, black businesses, get your shit together.
Well, I just think any business too.
Any business. Yeah, we are a little hard on the black businesses, and we not as hard. Like, I have gotten into it with several Asian store proprietors, but I continue to patronize and buy my products. So, shame on me. But we're gonna move on. We are a little hard on y'all because we expect more from y'all. But how about this DM diving? Oh, child, it's just been so messy. I don't know what these men are gonna have to get to understand that abruptly showing up in a woman's DM is inappropriate. If I have not responded to you since 2015, you're having a conversation with yourself. Sending your body parts is disgusting, and I'm going to report you. But these are the things that really is happening. So, what is your experience with DM? Because you're a beautiful woman. I'm sure people slither on over there. So what's going on?
I honestly haven't had a bad experience with DMing. I know Instagram has it so that you can either accept or deny someone's request. And for the people who I don't know, who I feel like the energy isn't what I would associate myself with, I just usually I don't accept that request, and then it gets ignored and then deleted. So I honestly haven't had really a bad experience with it personally. Someone always in my DMs, or someone who I find being annoying. Yeah, that's the keyword. That hasn't been my experience, but of course you see on social media where someone will screenshot a DM exchange, and
celebrities getting got too. Yeah. Celebrities getting got too. Alright, so serious question. Between me and you, pretending not here. Do you think Fab was trying to holler at that girl?
Yeah.
Bingo! Everybody was trying to make it seem, it could have been for business.
I think if you're on that level, there's a protocol when you are doing a business, business exchange. Okay, so if it's for a video, or if it's for some music, or whatever product that you think this person could provide, or service that you think that person could provide, whether it's a young lady or a young man who they dance, or they do makeup, or they design, or maybe he or she, they're a barber. It's just a route that you would take to be just more professional, so that other people won't get it misunderstood that you're trying to holler versus you're trying to hire. Right. So I would say, instead of going to someone's DM, find out if they have an email or some type of agent. I'm sure if you're a celebrity and you comment under someone's photo, maybe their work, maybe it's them showing a video of them dancing, or cutting hair, or styling, or whatever it is that they provide. That they do, maybe saying, oh wow, I'm really interested. What's your email?
Every chick got a booking email in that,
most do. That's why I was kind of confused, and I was just surprised with all of that all that was going on, the months past. That
I wasn't surprised. Look like it's tight. I ain't saying nothing.
I don't know. I just would have tried to make sure that my interactions with the public
top notch.
wouldn't be misleading or wouldn't look like I'm trying to be sleazy.
That's the perfect word, sleazy.
Yeah.
Speaking of sleaze, we just gonna roll right on into the next one. Again, pretend they not here. What do you think about T.I. purchasing Tiny all those extravagant gifts for her birthday?
The thought is nice. However, reading her reaction, it reads that this isn't going to fix things. A car is nice. New clothes or shoes or a bag, that's nice.
How many of those things does she already have?
Well, that's my thing.
Yeah,
but someone who already has access to nice shoes, a nice bag, nice clothes.
In her own marriage.
Right. And you know, luxury cars. This is not going to make a big difference.
It's not.
I think just looking at her reaction that there's still a lot of hurt and pain, and I don't know them, I don't know their situation, and I wouldn't dare judge it. But for me, looking at her reaction, she's still dealing with the pain that comes with infidelity and a marriage that has been hurt by untruths, or someone not being loyal, or not really sticking to the vows that they made at one point in time. So that's what I read. Like, gifts are nice, but they don't fix a broken foundation.
No, they don't. But I'm starting to think that in this society that gifts do suffice as and I'm sorry or I'm over it. And I think that the culture makes it seem that way. Now, sadly, I love Clifford. I've been loving T.I. since we did. I love me some Clifford Harris. I love T.I. But I don't understand how a man could be so engrossed in his community and so pivotal in the movement that we're currently in, but not honor his wife. Like a few weeks ago, you come out and say that marriage has no benefit to a man. So marriage has no benefit to a man, but you still go to the Mercedes dealer and drop all this cash to get this custom car. Beautiful car. Did you see the last one?
Yeah, that was a nice car. It was really nice.
It was gorgeous.
I mean, it's luxury car.
Luxury.
So, that's what you get.
But that doesn't change the fact that you still going to be out here being sleazy, which took me from the first word. So, I mean, I just don't want women to get in the place where we start replacing gifts with value and respect, because it's not the same. A man is going to gift you if he love you anyway, but a gift shouldn't be in response to disrespect. And I'm going to leave it there. I don't know them. I don't know their personal life. I still love you, Cliff, but I'm not going to get into that. Moving right along. Oh, child, did you see how they dragged Trump in London? Now, anytime you got the UK dragging you, why did they drag him like that?
Well,
thank you. But why did they?
I don't think anyone is surprised. To someone who thinks so highly of themselves, I think seeing that crowd and seeing, them have a huge float of an adult baby. I think that's a huge blow to someone like himself who has, who's very self-absorbed.
He's narcissistic.
He's a narcissist.
Yeah.
I think that they definitely bruised his ego, but it just
I hope they killed it.
I hope that in some way, to those who see no problem with the character of Trump, that they see how greatly flawed he is. I still don't understand how people can rally behind someone who has said and done the most just
horrific, disgusting,
just terrible things. I mean, he has, in my opinion, he has no integrity. He has not shown me a person who has character, who has integrity. And I don't care about what his political affiliation is. I mean, I look at the heart of someone. Someone who has compassion for others. Someone who, shows love for others, whether they have a difference of opinion or whether they look different. In my opinion, as a leader, you are to lead. You show people what it looks like to be in such a position. You are an example. And I mean, I just think back to the previous president, Barack Obama. This was someone who you would want your child to meet and greet. And even to say, I want my son or my daughter to be that type of leader, that type of person with that type of character. And then we have a Trump. I don't know anybody who would say that they would be comfortable having their child in the presence of Trump and to show them, you know, what it means to be a president. I mean, this is the same person who goes on national TV, uses vulgarity. I mean, this is the same person who said things that you wouldn't repeat to your child. I can't remember Obama saying something that I would feel uncomfortable repeating to my child. So it's, for me, him going to London and them protesting shows how much he has impacted the world negatively. I mean, I was like, when is the last time I can remember the entire city coming out? I mean,
Churchill.
Like the entire city coming out protesting a foreign leader. They may disagree. You might have some people with a sign, but like literally everybody taking to the street and having a float. Like that was the extreme.
That was hilarious.
But it was funny. I
appreciate it.
I did enjoy it.
I just want to say, and getting back to y'all hate opinions because y'all do, I need for everyone to take responsibility for this because we are responsible for this. And if we take ourselves out of the equation and act like we're not responsible, then that means we're not ready to face the truth. The truth of the fact is this man has displayed his lack of integrity since we have known his family's name. So with that being said, you let him slither into the highest office in the United States, and now that he's tearing it to shreds and has everyone laughing at us, you want to turn it around on him. It's not his fault. You empowered this bigot. You empowered this fool to think that it's okay to do the things that he is doing. So first we got to take responsibility. Second, what are we going to do about this? Because all this back and forth, I'm tired. Something got to be done. If Barack had lint on his suit, he would have been impeached. I mean, let's just be for real. If you would have saw a naked picture of Michelle Obama, y'all would have made him step down. I got plenty of Melania in my phone, and she don't even look good. But the point I'm making is it goes back to that white privilege. He's definitely riding that wave to no end. And secondly, he knows nothing about the office that he's in. He's just in an office because he wanted to prove to everyone that he could get there. Why are you still campaigning? Why are you still going places giving speeches? Is you retarded? That's just my opinion. But you know, you can't say that because if you say that, you're met with, I mean, I can go literally on a post, a mega post. All you gotta do is tap the hashtag. You will find out things about these bigots that you did not even know how they really feel. But the crazy thing is, they're able to say how they feel, but if you respond, it's an issue. So them, I'm proud that London did what they did. I'm thankful. I commend them, but more needs to be done. More has to be done. But the baby float was epic. That is going to go down in history. That was literally hilarious. And I want to know where they made it because it was huge.
Yeah, that was, I enjoyed watching. I remember prior to him coming that they had already started talking about the float. So
I didn't believe it was going to be that funny. But that was really funny.
And it looked just like
him.
And it is, I mean, it's a caricature of what we see.
Yeah,
I mean, we see someone, they call him a man-child, because he does pout, he behaves very immaturely. So I mean, someone says something, he has to say something back. You know, taking the high road is totally out of what he would do as an individual. And again, this is someone who's supposed to be the leader of, you know, America, the free world. You know, this is a U.S. president. And I mean, this person will be talked about in history. And I just think that for the sake of just decency, you would think that he would have changed in the past, you know, year and a half. But
some people, well, I mean, he's 70 years old. He's closer to the box than he is from.
Yeah, I mean, he is who he is, and I've seen a lot of his supporters say that. And I mean, I mean personally, I don't expect for him to do anything that's decent. Out of the goodness of his heart. No. Out of being liked, because I know that he needs to be liked. So he'll do things to be liked. but not because that's who he is at the core. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think there will be so much more that we can say about Thump. So we will continue throughout the weeks. But all I will say is we have to take accountability for this because we're responsible. Whether you decided to stay home November 8th, 2016, whether you decided to vote for Jill Stein like my dumb ass did, whatever you chose to do, we are responsible. We got to take responsibility for it. But moving on, and this kind of fits Trump too. Okay. You have a male, and then you have a fupa, and you have a moopa. These men with these guts, they like 10 months pregnant. I don't know. Oh, okay, don't get me wrong. My man has a stomach, but his stomach is not huge, and he works out often. He say he do, but he works out often. But y'all out here looking 13 months pregnant, and then you got a nerve to have requirements for a woman. You got, nigga, what are you doing? Like, I mean, some of the pictures I've been seeing online are disgusting. I'm angry. I want to call Child Protective Services. I don't know if y'all taking your prenatal vitamins. I just don't know. Are they living in the sub shop? Like, what's going on? Child, it got me sided too. It's bad.
For the sake of health. I mean, as long as you're healthy, and it's not coming from, I don't have very much to say about it.
I mean, what do you say? But now it's almost like popular.
Well, I'll say this. You know, as women, you know, we talk about not body shaming.
Yes.
And I think it's important that we don't do that to our male counterparts.
Was I just body shaming?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't give a shit. Listen, let me tell you why I don't care about body shaming. A nigga will make a post talking about, yeah, I don't mess with no bums. You live with your grandmother. What are you talking about? You're the bum, not granny. It's you. So yes, if we have to body shame y'all, no. The final straw was the other day. I'm scrolling, minding my business. First of all, I'm at Dunkin' Donuts, so I'm supposed to be paying attention. I'm scrolling, and a guy was like, yeah, because all my girlfriends got degrees. So somebody commented, and I live for a comment. Somebody comment and say, oh, you talking about the temperature? I guess the person meant, nigga, what do you have? But that's real. They really put unrealistic requirements on black women only. I feel like it's only us. Our stomachs gotta be flat. Our hair gotta be long. Like, come on now. We the ones working. We the ones doing everything in society for real. Not taking nothing from the black men. But what I'm saying is we don't have the same requirements on them as they have as us. So you want my stomach to be flat and my ass to be poking out, and you want my breast to be sitting up to my collarbone, but it's alright for you to be 12 months pregnant with whoever's baby. No. So I'm gonna shame you. And I hope you are ashamed. Anyway, we'll move on from the fupas. Before we go any further, before we get into the meat of this episode, I have to do a product review. If anybody knows me, I am a Gemini. I am a product junkie. There is not a product that I don't have or don't plan on getting, as long as Amazon got it. But moving on. These two, they're black owned. I don't plug nothing. Well, I may plug something that's not black owned. I'll just pretend I don't know. I mean, y'all hate opinions. That's the honest truth. Now, when it's pay week, I can afford Miss Jessie's. Miss Jessie's is extremely expensive, but when it's not a pay week, we gonna get on Jackie. They do the same thing. They work the same way. This is at your local hair store. Use a drop of this when I'm trying to save. You know what I'm saying? I'm still on the budget now. But don't forget on Jackie's, if you have their Brazilian hair, curly hair, it keeps it tame. You'll like it. This is a good product. Nikki, you used this one before, right, on your hair?
I used Miss Jessie's soft jelly curl.
Yeah,
and
soft jelly curl is a bomb. It's $17 though.
Yes, I mean, I found other products that work better for my hair.
Mm-hmm. By who?
It was a Shea Moisture line.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Shea Moisture's black. Yeah. Big plug down. I just want black cosmetic makers to stop making their stuff so high. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to have to. like for real, the main choice, I really like the main choice, but I can never afford to buy the whole system in one purchase, so I get this and that. But y'all gotta lower your prices. Revlon don't be doing that.
Well, I mean, you're looking at, Revlon and
75 years, yeah.
So I mean, I don't have an issue with paying more, because I know that the quality of what I'm paying for is,
I don't care. Lower it. Say no.
I've spent $3 on a curling style,
From where? Did it
lotion, and it did not work compared to my $8 bottle of styling lotion.
But real spill, like this one is really, really my favorite. I don't use it a lot because I'm struggling and I only use small drops, but this is really my favorite when I wear curly hair. As you can see, this is not curly, but I switch it up, y'all will see. But so back to the matter at hand. College got me effed up. Wow. Well, why don't we give them a little bit of our credentials so they at least know we really did fucking go to college. So go ahead.
I attended Clark Atlanta University.
Woo-hoo.
Received a BA in history, and I also attended Morgan State University, receiving a MA in African American Studies.
I went to Morgan State University and I have a bachelor's degree in political science, which is why I love politics so much. I'm currently working on a project management certification, and I plan to return to get my master's degree from Coppin State University in Human Services. Wow, even saying all that, I can hear how much it costs as I was saying it. Like I was like, ching, ching, ching. It's crazy. I wanted to talk about this because I mean, this shit is real. Like, it's affecting me. Every time I get a statement from Navy and my hands get clammy, it's like, damn, how much am I going to have to pay? But college is extremely expensive for people like us. You know what I'm saying? And when I say people like us, I'm saying African American people, minorities. It's been proven that we pay substantially more for a loan than our white counterparts. Mm-hmm. So why don't you give them a little bit of backdrop on how you came to go to Clark and all that stuff?
Well, I always tell the young people that I work with that my route to college wasn't nearly, I guess, planned out as you would think it would be, given the fact that I assist students with going to college. Mm-hmm. But literally in the mall in Atlanta, my mother ran into this guy who worked at Nordstrom. Mm-hmm. And he told her about Clark Atlanta University. Mm-hmm. I find my mother, and she's like, "Hey, come over here.
Yeah, that's Miss Lily.
Listen to this guy, random, talk about his university in Atlanta, Georgia." Mm-hmm. I did want to attend school in Atlanta, so that's the reason why that conversation even began. But when I pulled up to the campus of Clark Atlanta University in the summer of 2002.
Yeah, I remember.
I had never visited. I might have looked online once at the college. I really did not know anything about the school. I think later on I realized that it was a black school, but I was really ignorant about what an HBCU, what is an HBCU. I just knew, there's certain schools that are for black kids and there are other schools that are predominantly white. That was the knowledge that I had prior to me going to school.
Right. And with me, I think my journey was different because I was definitely inspired to go back to school by you, because I was a mature student. So when I went back, I was already a mother. I was already in my 20s. So I didn't even know how the process went. You know what I'm saying? So everything that I got initially was from her because she had already done it. And by me being first generation college grad, I didn't get the information from my parents because they didn't know. So a lot of times when we would go to sign those loans, you know how you do in the financial aid office, they don't tell you that eventually, come hell or high water, we're going to get this money, okay? Like, they the real thugs. Y'all talking about the IRS? No, Navient is a thug, okay? But anyway, I digress. But I didn't really understand what the financial burden that I was placing on myself for an education. And that's why I wanted to talk about this, because I see so many young people and they're so excited about, oh, I want to go to a HBCU, I want to go to here, I want to go to there. But you have to go where it's economically feasible for you and your family. And you don't want to put yourself in a position years down the road where you're 30 working multiple jobs to survive. Okay? So I feel like it needs to be more information given to high school level students, especially African American students, about the debt ratio, even careers, because a lot of times I wasn't really informed about careers. It was like, you pick a major. Right. Nobody said this is what you can do in this major. It's just, what's your major? Oh, you got to declare it because we got to put it on this degree. So what is it? But I feel like that needs to change too. And a lot of times the access is not given to the youth in our community. It's like going to college is so revered in the African American community, because especially when you're coming from first generation, second generation, it's like, oh yeah, you know, my daughter went to college. But people don't think about the fact that, you know, it costs money to do that. So, and I know you work with students and getting them there. So what is the biggest obstacle that you found when you're trying to help students get to university level when it comes to money?
It's students understanding the whole financial aid process and how to pay for college. Yes. Students know that they'll do a FAFSA, but then they don't realize that this FAFSA is the application to apply for aid. It is not the application that will give you money. So a lot of times students are like, hey, I haven't heard from FAFSA. FAFSA didn't give me money. And it's just not realizing that, no, FAFSA is just the way you apply for the aid. That is not who actually gives you the money. It's the institution, it's the state, it's the federal government who will give you money. It's not the actual FAFSA application that will give you the money. So it's understanding that. It's also helping students understand that just because you have a greater financial need does not mean that the institution that you have applied to will give you a full ride because you have a greater need. The reality is, if you have a 0 EFC, which is your estimated family contribution, that does not mean that when you get your federal your financial aid letter, that bill is going to read 0 as far as what you owe. It's not. And that is so hard for students, because most students say, well, my parents are unemployed, or I have a 0 EFC, or my EFC is $100, but it's showing that I have a $20,000 gap. $20,000 gap. So it's helping them understand that just because you have a greater need does not mean that institution is going to give you a full ride or provide a full financial aid award letter that covers what your need is. Now, there are institutions out there that, you know, 100% demonstrated need. There are institutions that will meet whatever that need is. But the students don't want to go to those. Well, not necessarily that they don't want to go to those institutions. Oftentimes, those are your more selective institutions. So, you know, you throw the word selective out there, that's not an institution that every student will be admitted to. Yeah, or qualified. So we're talking about a school that's looking at, you know, a student who has taken rigorous courses, a student who has done well academically, a student who has done well on the SAT or the ACT. So, you know, there's money out here, and I always tell students, there's money out here, but you have to position yourself in a place where you are able to receive that type of funding. You know, you can't be a C student or a D student and then expect a full ride based off of your merit. That's just not going to happen. Or if you have a greater need, but you have not done well academically, that you think that institutions are supposed to provide the funding for you to go to school. Because you're an investment, and we have to groom our children and our community to understand that academics is most important. If you want to avoid this whole long conversation, don't even have to get it, because if your academics are up to par and where they should be, I know you've had students that have had full rides to prestigious universities, like in all your years of, you know, working, and you've told me certain things, but I think a lot of times we aren't really taught how valuable it is to
display or exhibit really great academics in high school. Even though, I mean, we all had pretty good grades, but had we known, we would have maintained them and been exemplary. So when it comes time to go to college, we're not discussing the whole loan thing. So let's put the loan conversation into context. You come home, I need you to fill out something. Parent Plus, right?
Yes.
Okay, Parent Plus. What children don't understand is that isn't the parent responsible for that immediately, to start paying immediately?
So yes, the Parent Plus loan, the parent doesn't get the benefits that a student will get if the student takes out a loan. You have 6 months after you graduate, drop out, for repayment.
Right.
That becomes almost an immediate bill for that parent. And if you are a parent who's already juggling, your financial obligations, bills in the household, the responsibility of just being a parent and taking care of, your home, that added bill can be a financial burden.
Yes,
and I've seen individuals close to me struggle with trying to keep their child in college while paying that
loan.
Parent Plus loan. Yeah. So in my opinion, I tell parents and students to steer away from a Parent Plus loan. It is the parent's choice, but if they don't have to, try not to take out a Parent Plus loan or even go into your 401 or whatever savings the parent has to help finance your child's education. At the end of the day, that student, if they are going to a school where, they are making the conscious decision to take out a loan, that student bears that burden unless the parent has set aside money specifically for that child to go to college, or the family has done, or you have a savings that is for the student to go to college
only. And you know what? Getting back to my shameless life insurance plug, there are policies that you can have that will secure a certain amount of money to secure that your children can go to college. But again, if you want to talk about that, just call me. But I came up with a few things that I think would help the youth. Do your research. That's number one. Do your research, please, because without doing your research, you are choosing a college off the name or because my cousin went there. Don't do that. Do your research. See if they have your program. See how much it is for a standard year without aid. See how much it is with a loan. Do everything you can do. Do your due diligence before you sign on any dotted line or commit to go to any university. Secondly, weigh your options. If it's more economically responsible for you to attend community college for 2 years for free before you jump to university level, do that. And don't give a damn about what nobody else saying, because the same one saying something, ask them, did they go? Now the third one, choose wisely. What I mean by that is majors. Majors matter. I can't say it any more specific than that. You have some specialized majors who will lead you directly to your track. That's engineering, that's nursing, that's teaching. But you also have some majors that are subjective, like mine, political science. I could do a lot of things. I could have went to law school. I could have been a lobbyist or a political speech writer. It's a lot of things. But be mindful, and it's kind of hard to tell somebody that's 18 to choose wisely, because when I was 18 I also thought that like colored earrings was the bomb. Oh, I still got them on. I ain't changed. But anyway, I think that when you're 18 you are responsible enough or conscious enough to make a decision about what you want to do with your life. So think about that seriously. Think about what you take passion in. I remember one of my professors, Dr. Jackson at Morgan, I still love her. She asked me, Ashley, what would you do for free? And that was how I chose what I wanted to do. So those are my 3 takeaways. You got to. You got any?
Yes. Sorry.
I didn't mean to throw it at you.
So I would say for a student who is interested in college and you want to plan what that route looks like, number 1, talk to someone who attended college.
Yes.
Find out what are the benefits of going to college. Because I'll say this, not every student who graduates high school will go directly into college.
That's the truth.
Sometimes you do need, some kids take a gap year to figure out what it is that you want to do.
Okay.
It is okay. Be mindful. This is not, for the most part, this is not a free experience. So you want students to go into college, if they are choosing college, being fully aware of what their financial obligations are. So do your research. Talk to individuals who have attended college. If there are things that you're passionate about, or if you're interested, whether it is the medical field, whether it's education, whether you're going into maybe a trade, something like that, make sure that you reach out to individuals who are in the field and find out what was their path, what was their route. They might can point you to the right institutions, especially if you are, a 9th grader, a 10th grader, or 11th grader, and you have not built a list of colleges. Maybe that can help you point into the right direction. If you're interested in education, what colleges are good teaching colleges? If you're interested in engineering, what colleges better prepare engineers for the field? So make sure that you are reaching out to individuals who are actually working in the field, who have a degree in the field, and who give you tips about not only the schools, but even what work is out there, or what,
because that's the most
careers.
Important part. That's the most important part.
You might have an engineering degree, but what can you do with that engineering degree? Does that mean that you have to go work for Lockheed Martin or other firms like that? There are other routes that you can take with that degree. So finding out who those individuals are and what was their path, that can help direct you.
Absolutely.
Also, start looking at scholarships. And if you have a list of schools, start finding out what funding they have provided
for minorities.
For minorities, or is it for your major specific? Do they have opportunities for students to get a full ride? So if you are offered a full ride, or if the school provides those full ride options, usually through the honors college, what's the GPA minimum? What is the minimum ACT or SAT score? So these are things that you need to find out, because if you're in the 9th grade or the 10th grade, you still have time to make sure that you meet that goal academically, so that you are able to take advantage of any full tuition or book scholarship, whatever is out there. So the earlier the better. I would say to any student who's thinking about college, don't wait. Make sure that you are visiting schools. Oftentimes I find that students who are in the city of Baltimore, they have never visited a Morgan, a Coppin, a Towson, and these are schools that are all located on a bus route.
It's in your neighborhood.
They're in the neighborhood, they're in the community, yet they have never visited. So if you are a young person, or if you have a young person, make sure that maybe during the summertime, a PD day where students are off, that you schedule a visit to one of your local colleges. In the state of Maryland, we have any type of school that you can think of. We have your highly selective schools. We have schools that are more open and really don't have the requirements. We have private institutions. We have public big name schools. We also have, all girls colleges. We have Jesuit colleges. So there's tons of different schools right here in Maryland. So if you're a local student, take advantage of the schools that are provided. Once you leave the state of Maryland, tuition usually increases by about $10,000 or more.
So a semester, not a year.
Well, depending on the school. So if you leave the state, you're talking about going to a private school. Private schools usually run a good $40,000 or more a year. That's the same cost that you would pay for an in-state private school. However, if you look at your more public institutions in state, you're talking about cutting your tuition by about $20,000. So you're looking at a school that's pretty affordable, that's around $20,000. So these are things to think about. Don't let costs discourage you or drive you, but be aware of these things. If you are looking at a school that's expensive, find out how much in aid does that institution typically award students. Find out if there are need-based aid that's given, or even merit-based aid. Oftentimes students will not look at a school because it's expensive. So I would say don't let money discourage you from an institution that might be your perfect fit. Because if it's for you to be at that institution, the school will find a way to make it affordable. So don't discount a school just because it's expensive, or even if it's close to home, or even if it's really cheap. Don't think that because it's not, expensive, that you're not going to get a good education.
Last thing I'm going to say, and this is to my COGs, that's the college OGs, that's, me and you, people like us. Don't be afraid to talk to your loan servicer. Do not be afraid to tell them you don't have no money. And do not be afraid to set up whatever payment plan you feel comfortable with. You're going to be paying it for the rest of your life, so you might as well make it as comfortable and cushy as possible. They have the income-based repayments. They have a number of programs that can assist us. If you work for public service or public health or 501c3, you can have your loans forgiven after, it's either 10 or 25 years for whichever one. Do your research like I'm telling you to do anyway, and you'll know. But don't be afraid to reach out to them and let them know your financial situation, and don't be ashamed of that. And that's what I'm gonna leave you with y'all hate opinions. College got me effed up, but we could be un-effed up if we just handle our business like we're supposed to. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you, and come on back next week. We'll have some more stuff. That's it.